Hey everyone, by now you should be familiar with formulas. We use formulas in mathematics to solve area, volume, surface area, among many other things. Now we're going to learn how to use formulas to solve an equation. Let's see one example. For the formula A equals BH over 2, find H if B is 12 and A is 96. Normally with formulas we're asked to find the subject. In this case here, the A. We're asked to find A. But here we're actually asked to find one of the variables, in this case H. Find H. How do we work it out? Simply, the first step is to substitute all the information into the formula. Let's do that first. A equals BH over 2. We'll write the formula down. That's our formula. And the first step is to substitute the information we have. It's telling us to find H. So we don't have H, but we have B. B is 12 and A is 96. So A is 96 and B is 12. We're asked to find H over 2. So we have an equation. A is 96, B is 12 times H over 2. We have just created an equation. Simple. So the first step is to substitute. Now, simply, what do? We solve the equation. Where do we start? Divide by 2 is times 2 on both sides. Times 2 times 2. 96 times 2, 192. Divide by 2 times 2, they cancel out. We're left with 12 times H. H. 192 equals 12 times H. We're asked to find H. We know we got to divide. The opposite of times is divide. Divide by 12 on this side, and we divide by 12 on this side as well. 12 divided by 12 is gone. We're left with H, and 192 divided by 12, you can grab your calculator, 192 divided by 12, you should get 16. H equals to 16. So for this formula, A equals BH over 2, we're told A is 96, B is 12, we're asked to find H, we substitute the information, then we complete our equation and we find H is 16. It's pretty simple. Very important to substitute correctly. Let's do a couple more examples. For the next formula, A equals 2 pi r H. Find H if R is 6 and A is 55. Once again, what do? We have to substitute the information we have into our formula first before we can complete it. So we have our formula, A equals 2 pi r H. That's our formula. A is 55, 2 pi, which is 2 times pi, times r. We are told r, which is the radius, is 6. And we are asked to find H. There is our formula. We have substituted all the information. Now we complete it by solving an equation. 55 equals 2 times pi times 6. Grab your calculator, put 2 times pi times 6. Let's do that now. $37.699, and it continues on, times H. That's our answer for 2 times pi times 6. Now we want to work out H. Times is divide. So basically we're dividing by the same number. You can keep it in your calculator because you're going to use it. So 55 divided by the answer that we already had originally in the calculator, which is 37.699, and the answer keeps going. So 55 divided by our answer, 1.46. So by dividing, you're cancelling that out. You're left with h. H is 1.46 to 2 decimal places. So the value of h in this formula is 1.46. Once again, what do? We write our formula. Very important to substitute correctly. Make sure we put the numbers in the correct place. A is 55 and R is 6. And then we complete and we work out the equation as normal. Very important to make sure that if you need to round off, in this case here we're rounding off to 2 decimal places, you round off correctly. Let's do 2 more examples. The next formula we have y equals u plus at. Find a if y is 37, t is 5 and u is 7. So we have a formula. Let's write it down. Y equals u plus at. Now the substitution, the most important step. We know that y is 37. We substitute y with 37 and we're asked to find a. Now t is 5 and u is 7. So u is 7 and t is 5. So in other words, 5a. This is our u and this is our t. We have an equation now. Let's solve it. We know we want to solve it by taking away 7 first. 30, because 37 take away 7 is 30. 7 minus 7 is gone. We're left with 5a. 5a equals to 30. Now what? Well, 5 times a, we know is divide, the opposite. 5 divided by 5, left with 1. So 1a, which is just simply a, and 30 divided by 5 is 6. We always follow the same process. We substitute and we solve the equation. Remember, we solve always by going through the equation steps, and when we substitute correctly. Let's do the last formula. Okay, our last formula. A equals h, open bracket, a plus b, close bracket, all over 2. We are asked to find b. If h is 8, a is 4, and capital A is 64. We know capital A stands for area. So let's write our formula first. H and A plus B. There's our formula. We start to substitute. Capital A is 64. H is 8. And A is 4 plus B all over 2. That's our formula. We have now substituted correctly and we make sure that we put the numbers in the right place. Now we want to solve the equation. Divide by 2 is times 2 on each side. 64 times 2, 128. And divide by 2 times 2, they cancel each other out. We're left with 8 bracket 4 plus b close bracket. Now we continue on. We know there is a multiplication, an invisible multiplication right there between the 8 and the brackets. It's 8 times everything inside the brackets. So divide by 8 and divide by 8. 128 divided by 8 is 16. And 8 divided by 8 is 1. They're gone. And we're left with 4 plus b. Now simply minus 4 and minus 4. 16 take away 4 is 12. And 4 take away 4. Gone. We're left with b. So our answer, we're asked to find b. b is 12. Very important to learn how to substitute correctly. And of course, to know how to solve equations. This is easy. Whenever you find questions like that, remember substituting and then simplifying the equation. Easy.